What's up guys, it is official, I have finally beaten Dark Souls 3 at level 1. Now this video has been in the making for about a couple months because this challenge was really putting me to the test. There were a lot of ups and downs, but also a lot of funny moments as well. I would appreciate a like and subscribe, and most importantly, I hope you enjoy the video. Comment what is your favorite boss of Dark Souls 3. First things first is we have to take out Gundyr. Now Gundyr is not really a hard fight, which is to be expected this early into the game, considering he's the first boss that is. But all you gotta do is dodge, it's easy to dodge attacks, and then you're in phase 2. And maybe get hit once or twice by some BS. Now in phase 2, you just want to dodge to his right, get a few smacks in, he'll swing his arm and flail his body around, but you just dodge it. Then he jumps and that attack is undodgeable. So then I end up dying, then I die again because he's flying around like a freak. He does the jump attack again, get nailed by that, but then we're good because he's almost low, get the heal off, dodge, boom, bada bing, bada boom, he's dead. Now, as with every single Dark Souls run I do, I must fight Dancer before Vordt. So we get in there and we die instantly, as to be expected. Now we're on to Vordt, and I'd say Vordt is probably easier than Gundyr, just because phase 2 Gundyr has some goofy moves with big hitboxes and a bunch of BS. So basically with Vordt, just dodge is simple to dodge attacks. He ends up in phase 2 using this one move where he'll just breathe ice at you for no reason and stand there while you absolutely wail on his butt, and then eventually you'll be able to take down Vordt pretty easily. I died to Gundyr 3 times. I'd say his difficulty was 1 out of 5, and his enjoyability was a 3 out of 5, so overall a C tier. Vordt was simple enough, so I didn't die to him a single time, so because of that, I gotta give him a difficulty rating of a 0 out of 5, enjoyability a 3 out of 5, pretty middle of the pack, and also a C tier just like Gundyr. So far, everything's been going pretty good. We're making our way to the tree boss. I'm next to these barrels. I get Hiroshima. It is what it is. Now we're at the tree boss, and you first gotta start by taking out his goons. Just another annoying part of this fight, because this boss is insufferable. His moveset consists of rolling around, swinging his legs, swinging his arms around in the slowest manner possible. And then, if you're taking a while, especially in a level 1 run, his goons will end up coming out of nowhere and start attacking you. Just nothing is fun about this boss. I can't stand him. Everything is slow. He does these silly moves. It's so boring. And then when you get to phase 2, it's only a bunch of more garbage moves that he will use. Like that one where he just went on his back. It's like I can't even attack him. Then he has these poor sacks falling out of the sky. It's just not fun. I can't stand this guy. So then I end up using the power of fire, and we're able to take him down because he's a tree, obviously. Let's go. Gosh, I hate this boss. Now the tree was able to actually take me down 11 times, which was pretty embarrassing, so I gave him a difficulty rating of a 2 out of 5. Enjoyability, clearly a 0 out of 5, he's not fun in the slightest. Overall, F tier. Now we mosey our way on over to the Crystal Sage. Now the Crystal Sage was actually kind of working me, I will not lie. But in phase 1, it's pretty easy. You just run up, smack her a bitch, teleport away, and then you're on to phase 2. Mr. Sage will now start summoning mimic tiers just like Eldenring, and they're all imp builds, so they just use magic, start slamming you, you're running around, you're getting hit by ice spears from out of nowhere, Randy Orton RKO style. Dude. I decided I'm gonna go get the ashes to give to the shopkeeper lady thing, and then I'd upgrade my sword, and I only can actually upgrade it once, so it kind of felt useless to me. But now we're back to Sage, and then I die, and I'm pretty frustrated about it. I finally was able to get Crystal Sage pretty gosh darn low, where one more cycle would be her demise. But I got pretty bad RNG here, where I had to sprint around in circles. Then I found her, and then she started smacking me with a rapier.
That is sick.
Then I decided to take a break and come back the next day, and then I was finally able to beat her. Yes sir, first fight on, let's go, we did it. Finally. Crystal Sage took me 11 tries, just like the tree, and now I actually decided I'm going to keep track of game time, bosses take me. So total game time at this point was 2 hours and 30 minutes. Crystal Sage, I give difficulty 2 out of 5, enjoyability 2 out of 5, and a D tier. Now it was time to take on the Dingleberries of the Deep. I cannot stand this boss just like the tree. This was the first boss that was making me question my sanity. As you go around, you get smacked one by one. They throw fireballs at you. Then they start doing that pulsating thing. Why is he attacking like a fucking going like this? Swing, bro. Safe to say, I was kind of getting fraud checked by the Deacons. I started leading all of the main minion guys to the back before the main Deacon would spawn, but it was helping a little bit, but I was still dying a lot. I sold out like a fucking idiot, dude. I sold out so hard. I was just thinking in my head, there's no number. There's no number. Eventually, though, I was able to finally take them down. Yes! Finally! Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't think that would be the one. Yes! The Deacons killed me 20 times. At this point, the game time was 3 hours and 54 minutes. Difficulty-wise, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it was the first kind of hurdle I had in the game. Enjoyability-wise, 2 out of 5. They're meh. And I gave them a D tier as well. I'm so cooked. Spam the spacebar. Dive. Dive. I can't. Now it's time to fight the Watchers of the Abyss. At this point, I haven't played the game in a while, so I kind of forgot their moveset. So it took me a few tries just to learn it. But then once I got a hang of it, it wasn't too bad. So my strategy basically revolved around running away when he'd summon the second guy, wait for them to gank fight each other, and then eventually I'd be able to make it on to phase 2. This fight is hilarious. Just like with phase 1, it took a bit to learn the moves for phase 2 as well. I couldn't adjust really to the fire at well at first, and I kind of took a silly death there. But then once I realized that you just wait for his ballerina move and bait that out, I just started plotting around till he would use that one move, boom, get in, get a few swipes in, rinse, and repeat. And that's kind of how the fight went. Abyss Watchers weren't too bad, per se. They were the first boss I actually really do enjoy in this game, so I didn't have a bad time fighting them. So it was pretty enjoyable. There we go. There we go. On the corpse of your brethren. Abyss Watchers took me out 15 times. Game time was 4 hours and 45 minutes at this point. Difficulty, I'd say, was a 2 out of 5. Not too bad. Enjoyability, a 4 out of 5. And overall, an A tier. Now it's time for Mr. Spooky Scary Skeleton, aka Wolnir, and honestly, Wolnir is not that bad as in any playthrough you do. Even level 1, he's pretty simple, so you just want to walk up, smack his wrist. Now I actually didn't realize this, but when he breathes smoke, you could stay by his hands, which makes the fight a lot easier since you could keep getting that damage in. The first run was actually kind of awful against him. I kept running around, he summoned the skellies, and then I got smacked by his sword. Wasn't good, but then we got back in there, get hit by the smoke because his hand drags me in, keep smacking him up. Now we use the technique of staying near his hands when he breathes, free damage, bada bing, bada boom, break one bracelet, break bracelet number 2, and then you go and you break the third bracelet, just like so. Oh wait, he crawls forward and you die. And you just get back in there, break his third bracelet this time, and bada bing, bada boom, the fight is over, and then you start slipping on a banana peel back into the abyss. I died to Wolnir 3 times. Game time was 5 hours and 2 minutes. Difficulty was a 1 out of 5. Enjoyment was a 3 out of 5, middle of the pack, and overall a C tier.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What in the world? Now it's time for the gauntlet where you just sprint through, try to hit the elevator so you get the shortcut, you die, so now you got to do it straight through, die again, sprint through, get nailed, keep praying that you do not get hit, somehow luckily dodge a dog, get up there, heal, and then now you're able to open the door to fight Pontiff. Oh, Pontiff, Pontiff, Pontiff. This guy is something else. If this first run against him isn't indicative of what's to come for me, I don't know what is. Okay. I proceeded to die countless times to stage 1 until I was eventually able to finally get him down to stage 2 within around 20-ish attempts or so. Forgetting his moveset yet again, I roll in like an absolute dummy, and then this one move where he does the double thrust, I can't tell you how many times I died to that. After countless attempts, I finally was able to get pretty decent at stage 1. I would just kind of dodge in, and then when he'd swipe his sword around, get another hit in, and then quickly dodge. But now we're back into stage 2, and my technique became dodging these flying moves and hit him and then keep the distance. But yet again, the double sword thrust gets me anyways because I'm not good. Then I had a lot more fun continuously dying to him over and over and over again. It just wouldn't stop. No! 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 Again! No, I fucking panic rolled with all the fucking... Pontiff was simply breaking my will to even play this game anymore. This challenge was putting me at my wit's end, but I never backed down. I never gave up. No! No way! Yes! Yes! Finally, let's go! Oh, that took so fucking long. That took way too long. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could beat him every time now. Oh my gosh. Oh. The pure euphoria I felt finally beating Pontiff was unmatched. But with that being said, the amount of times I died was unimaginable. I died a whopping 145 times to Pontiff. The game time was at 12 hours and 43 minutes, about 7 hours spent fighting this guy. Difficulty has to be a 5 out of 5. Enjoyment though, a 4 out of 5, because Pontiff is actually fun in my opinion. And overall, an A tier. Now it's time to take on Yhorm. You know, you just sprint on in, past his pretty little toe. As I was saying, you sprint past his toes, then you get in there, you know, Storm Ruler, just charge it up, and bada bing bada boom, you hit him, and then you charge it up again. Wait, I died. Oh, okay. Whatever. Yhorm is down, pretty simple. Yhorm may look big and scary, but he's pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy, only died to him once as you saw. Game time was 12 hours 50 minutes, difficulty 0 out of 5, enjoyment 2 out of 5. Guess I'd give him a D tier. Jeez, this guy's gonna be tough. Yeah, Aldrich was not actually that tough. I thought because I was doing not super good damage, it would take a while. But once you get to phase 2, as long as you don't get the arrow attack, then you're good to go. Because his long swinging spear attacks are easy to dodge. You get long punishes, and as long as you dodge the magic while running around, you're fine. It was not as bad as I thought it would be. Wow. I only died to Aldrich 8 times. The game time was at 13 hours 21 minutes. Difficulty, I gave him a 2 out of 5. Enjoyment, I actually gave him a 4 out of 5 because it wasn't that bad. And overall, a B tier. Now it's time to fight Tiny Dancer by Elton John. So in phase 1, she's pretty lethargic, she won't attack you that much, so you're just going to keep beating on her till you end up getting on to phase 2. But before that, it is mandatory to get grabbed at least once and die. Now you're on to phase 2, and honestly, my strategy for Dancer phase 2 was to kind of keep my distance, and then I'd get in after she was done using her long combos because I would die often by them. Because I wasn't very good at dodging them and knowing when the actual attack window was. So I would usually keep my distance, and then I'd wait for her to do her like two-hand over slam attack with the swords. Here it's a perfect sequence for this strategy because she uses it once, I get a hit in, then she goes into a combo where it's her finisher, and then I get a couple hits in there as well. But this part was an important part of the fight. She stabs her sword in the ground, I'm right outside the range of the ring. So later on, she ends up doing it again. I'm standing on the edge, I'm good, and then, boom. What? Oh my gosh. What? Dying to Dancer like that completely took me out of my flow state. I was feeling good in that round and I just died to that BS. So then I started getting murked and it ended up killing my motivation. So excited to hop on to da 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 da. We're back to the grind. The next day I came back locked in, ready to take the Dancer down, and it was going super well too. There we go, first fucking try when I'm on. Look how easy it is when you lock in and you get it done. Like, Dancer gave me a bit of a tough time, so I died 55 times. Game time was 15 hours and 10 minutes at this point. Difficulty, 4 out of 5. Enjoyment, 4 out of 5. Overall, an A tier. Now, Oceiros is a weird one because I never really fought him that much before other than like twice, and I was able to out-damage him before he could really do anything. Or I just hit trade with him as well. But since he can mainly one-shot me with most of his attacks, I had to actually learn how to fight him a little bit. So in phase 1, you just stay up in his crotch, smack it. When he breathes the smoke, usually you could hit his tail, but with the terrain in this map, sometimes you actually gotta run away. So now in phase 2, I found that the best thing would be to stick up into his crotch again, and then whenever he was about to charge or do an attack, I would just automatically roll. And then the best thing was when he'd keep doing the Beyblade move, as long as you don't get hit by it and you have stamina, but you could dodge, and then you get 2 swipes in, and then this happened. No way, dude, he uses that move of all of them at that time is so unlucky. Oh, now I can't get off till I beat him. And beat him I did. He ended up getting stuck in this corner, using his moves, and he didn't use the one-shot charge attack, luckily, so, yeah. Okay. We just fucking boxed him in this corner. Oh, that was not too hard. Just got unlucky a couple times. Oceiros gave me 9 deaths. Game time was 16 hours and 20 minutes. Difficulty, a 2 out of 5. Enjoyment, a 3 out of 5. And a simple B tier. Now it was time for Champ Gundyr, and he wasn't too bad in phase 1. He's got a pretty good rhythm to him, so you just kind of dodge around, get some good hits in, and then once you get to phase 2, that's when the action starts coming. In phase 2, Champ Gundyr sticks to you like peanut butter does to white bread. He is very aggro, so you gotta get used to his dodge timings pretty well, but he leaves a lot of openings where you could get a swipe in, quickly dodge, and then get another hit in. Bro, what? Yeah, this one attack he'd use where he would thrust his spear, like the hilt of it, at me, seemed to come out of nowhere, and I had no answer for it. That was... No way, dude! I was so close! I was in a group, and then he just did that to me. At this point, I died to that one move like 20 times, so I was getting sick of this guy already. So what ended up happening is I would just kind of pudge around, and I would bait out 1 or 2 moves whenever he'd charge at you with his spear and then swing it around. I'd get a hit in there, or when he'd just sprint and then swing it overhand. then I'd get a hit in. And then maybe get 2 hits in later when I realized that. There we go. There we go. We had to play like such a little wuss, but we beat him because of it. Vamp Gundyr killed me 45 times. The game time at this point was 18 hours and 12 minutes. Difficulty wise, if I bait out the movies, like a 2 out of 5, but I'll say with the move that kept killing me, 4 out of 5 for difficulty, enjoyability a 3 out of 5, and overall a B tier. Now it's time for Dragonslayer Armor, and he is not that hard. You just simply gotta dodge his attacks, hit him just like with every other boss. My favorite attacks to get hits in on would be when he would swing his sword twice and then run at you and swing a 3rd time, then you could dodge in, get 1 or 2 hits in. His big heavy attacks were also pretty good openings as well. You just dodge them and then you could get another hit or 2 in. And really this fight's pretty basic. The only thing that's tricky is the little flying bug things on the edge of the map. When they shoot their balls, usually I would just try to keep my distance from Dragonslayer until they would stop shooting them, and then I'd be good to go. I died 11 times to Dragonslayer. Game time at this point was 18 hours 55 minutes. Difficulty a 2 out of 5. Enjoyability a 3 out of 5. Overall a solid A tier. Now we venture off into the Grand Archives, get through that, jump off here, get baffled that I just did that. Now we get the Titanite slab to fully upgrade our sword, and then we head over to the Twin Princes. Twin Princes are pretty gosh darn easy in my opinion. Now, during this run, I was kind of throwing against them, but honestly, you just keep dodging to Lorien's right as he swings his sword like an idiot, and then you could get a single hit in every time, and you just rinse and repeat. Once you smack him enough times, then you finally are on to Phase 2. Phase 2 is basically a carbon copy of Phase 1 with how you just dodge Lorien's right, and then you gotta make sure you hit his back. Now with Lothric's magic, it's not too hard to dodge, you just gotta be ready for it when it's combined with Lorien's sword swings, which isn't too bad, you just kinda spam roll to be honest, and it's not that hard. Now the one great equalizer in this fight I'd say is when Lorien teleports and you can't see him. If he does like the one overhand move that he used against me, then he could one-shot you. But honestly, that's kind of the only issue I had during this fight, and I did die to it often because I'm trash. Good night. Okay. That was not as hard. That was my favorite fight yet. I mean, I did throw a lot, but I got him. Cool. Okay. I did die 23 times to the fellas. Game time was 20 hours 27 minutes. Difficulty a 2 out of 5. Enjoyability 5 out of 5. Like I said, my favorite boss so far. S tier. Now it's time to head over to Archdragon Peak and take on the Wyvern. Obviously you just sprint through and you're good to go. Nope, I get shanked by this guy and I die. So obviously I had to run back through and kill the Wyvern. I'm not even gonna rate it because it's kind of a gimmick boss and obviously there's no challenge, so yeah. Now it's time for my favorite boss in the game, Nameless King. Now phase 1, or should I say King of Storm phase, was actually murking me and I did die to it more than Nameless himself, but that was kind of because the camera was janky, so I blame it on that, not my skill. Now Nameless took some time getting used to, but I kind of treated him like how you're supposed to treat Pontiff, where you wait till he goes into his idle phase, and then you could get a hit in, and then you just gotta dodge his attacks and be ready for him. Oh. Fuck. No! Once I ended up getting used to his attacks, it wasn't too hard to actually beat him. I mean, considering when I didn't do level 1 run, I took like 100 plus tries on him in a normal playthrough, which was pretty bad, but in this level 1 run I was actually cooking. Oh my god. Let's go! Now, to Nameless himself, I only died 12 times, but I died in the King of Storm phase 15 times for a total of 27 deaths. Game time was 21 hours 55 minutes. Difficulty 3 out of 5. Enjoyment 5 out of 5. Easy S tier for my favorite boss in the game. At this point, I completely forgot about the old Demon King, so I went, massacred him first try. So I can't properly rate him, so I guess I'll have to give him a C tier. No way. No way. Now it's time for my number one op, the Champion's Gravetender. NPC fights in any Souls game are absolute horseshit, and I will stand by that till I die. Normally I would just always hit trade with them, maybe get a heavy weapon because you could just slam them and stagger lock them. But with this scumbag, his attacks would come out so quickly, whenever he'd sprint and thrust his sword at me, it was just guaranteed death. It's unbelievable, dude! This one move right here was the pinnacle of bullshit. I would just die instantly every time. The first couple of times I finally killed the Gravetender, I absolutely threw and would just die to a stupid ice breath. And the wolf isn't even that hard. I just was being an idiot and was dodging backwards straight into the ice and dying. And then I'd have to fight that scumbag again, every time. Yes! No way! What the fudge? 24 hours. Almost. The next time I played, I came back with a vengeance. And by vengeance, I mean I died another like 30 times to that stupid NPC. But then I finally got a run to the wolf, and I was able to easily take him out because his moves are pretty simple. The bites, you just dodge left and right. See, look at that. Once that fucking idiot is down, it's not bad. The wolf is fine. The NPC fight just sucks balls, dude. Oh my gosh. Thank the Lord. I couldn't take that any freaking longer. This shithead killed me 55 times. Game time was 24 hours and 49 minutes. Difficulty of 5 out of 5. Enjoyment, absolute 0 out of 5. Absolute F tier. Yay, another horseshit NPC fight that we have to do. Yeah, this guy did kill me more than Twin Princes even did, and the deaths were some of the most annoying deaths ever, because I would try to parry him actually, and it just wasn't working. And then I eventually got lucky enough to finally kill the scumbag. Yes! Finally! Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. I fucking hate that guy. And I'm getting jumped, and I'm dead. Now we were back to finally fighting bosses that are actually fun in this game. Sister Freide is a masterpiece of a boss fight, but what can I do at level 1 to her? For her phase 1, you just want to continuously stun lock her after she uses some moves. They're not hard to dodge or anything either, which is nice. The best one to get an opening is when she goes invisible, hopefully jumps over you because that's the easiest one to punish in my opinion. Then you just sprint up and hit her, and then you're into phase 2, which becomes a big problem. Now phase 2 is not that hard, it's more so that it takes so long that you're prone to eventually make mistakes, and with majority of the moves one-shotting you, it becomes a long task to go back, fight Freide in phase 1, beat her, then get back to phase 2, only to just die from a stupid Freide ice ground attack, or you accidentally miss a dodge on Ariandel and he just one-shots you with the mace. It's pretty tough and frustrating. The best way to tackle this phase is to separate the two of them, and then you could just hit Ariandel, and then also when Ariandel breathes the fire, you could also hit him. You just gotta make sure that Freide isn't right next to him, because then she'll one-shot you. Once I finally got Ariandel down, I was going into Freide phase 3, basically blind. So let's see how it goes. Okay, not so well. Maybe second time's the charm. Gosh darn it, dude! Why did I do that? I said I would just avoid the attack. Now that was the last day when I was back at school, so now I'm back at home and I have all the time in the world to tackle this challenge. So I finally ended up figuring out how to dodge that stupid first attack from Freide and then get some hits in because of that. So then my strategy became to bait out a literal 2 moves that she uses, which is the very first one she uses when the blue side glows, and then when she does the circle Beyblade move, and then I'd get the hits in. Otherwise, you would literally just see me running for minutes on end until she would use those same moves. But that only lasts so long, so I ended up dying. Okay, now this was like a 4th day of fighting Freide, and I finally figured out, okay, boom, you could dodge that, and guess what? You could get backstab openings. And that was revolutionary, because you get the backstab, good damage, and then you could get off a charged heavy. So then, the new strategy became to farm the jump attack she does, dodge, and then get the backstab in the heavy. And then also, I would obviously still use the 2 openings from before. And then, I would also dodge backwards if I didn't feel comfortable to get in to get the backstab on her. Yes! Oh my gosh, I almost choked so hard. Oh my gosh. Let's go! We finally beat her! Finally! Oh my gosh. Oh. Let's go. Oh my gosh. It was so satisfying to finally beat Freide. She ended up killing me a whopping 57 times. The game time at this point was 30 hours and 25 minutes. Yes, she took almost 6 hours. Difficulty, 5 out of 5. Enjoyment, a 4 out of 5. If it wasn't for Ariandel phase, it would be a 5 out of 5. And then, obviously, an S tier. Coming into this fight, I was dreading it because I knew these guys are kind of health sponges, so the fights would take a while. And I wasn't wrong about that because the phase 1 would take around like 6 or 7 minutes or so to actually complete, just because these 2 goons would be running around. And so the strategy for phase 1 was basically to run around when they're both aggroed at you and avoid them until one of them would de-aggro, and then you could wail on the one that's attacking you, dodge into his crotch, and then keep beating at him.
No way, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, taking deaths did suck a lot, just because I knew it would take a while to get back to that point. But anyways, I digress. So, first demon you want to take out is Pain, because obviously it makes the Demon Prince have the laser attack, which you could get a big damage output on. So then, you eventually beat Demon of Below, and now you're in phase 2 for the Demon Prince. Now, the Demon Prince is not hard at all, actually. This fight, I thought it would be a lot more challenging, but I kind of just treat it like Oceiros, where you keep dodging into their crotch, and then he can't hit you. So when he flies away like that, that's when you know the laser beam attack's coming, and then you could just wail on him. And most of the time you could get a riposte, but if you can't, then you gotta step back, and then hit him again, and then I got the riposte finally. Now there is one attack that's pretty tricky to dodge from this feller. It's when he flies way up high from the top rope, and then comes down to slam you. Now it actually killed me, and it's really weird because the camera just loops way up. So I found the best way to dodge it is just to run backwards away from him and then roll as he's coming down. And that worked pretty well for me.
And this should be him dead. Die! Yes!
Wow. See, I've come around on the Demon Prince boss. I used to not like him, but it's a lot more fun now that I actually know how to fight him. Let's go. That wasn't that bad. Overall, I died to the Demon Prince 12 times. The game time at this point was 31 hours and 33 minutes. Difficulty, a 2 out of 5. Enjoyment was a 5 out of 5, I had a good time. And overall, an A tier. Next up on the hit list was Mr. Midir. Now, a lot of people say Midir is one of the harder bosses of Dark Souls 3, and they're not that wrong. But to be honest, I did pretty dang well against Midir. Once you realize that you just need to stay in front of his head and then dodge away, and then on his last attack of his combo, you just dodge in, and you could get a hit, you're fine. Now, I did take some silly deaths because I didn't really remember how he breathed the fire after some of the attacks. And then sometimes he would clip me with his little fingernail on the quick, like a claw slash thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't that bad. Now, once he does his phase transition, it's pretty sick, to be honest. The cinematic on it is glorious to look at. But now it's kind of just same old as phase 1, except for when he starts like channeling his aura. Then I kind of just ran away, kept my distance. On the beam attack, I had no idea how to dodge this, but I luckily did somehow. I just decided to stick close to his feet and then spam roll. And it actually worked out both times, because in this run, I do meet a unfortunate demise. I did go on to die a couple more times with this stupid charge attack and then the fire again. The fire is what killed me the most, actually. But yeah, after that, it was fine. I ended up hitting him enough where he ends up doing that thing where you could get the super charged riposte. But after that, I just didn't want to get greedy, so I made sure to get the clear openings, dodge nice and smooth. On this charge, I got a little greedy. I kind of just tried swinging my sword to kill him. And I did get one hit, but after that, I got him. Thought Midir would be a lot worse. But you know what? I kind of locked in. It only took 15 tries. Okay. Not bad. Like I said, this big lizard only killed me 15 times. The game time was 32 hours and 53 minutes. I give him a difficulty of 3 of 5. Enjoyment, 5 out of 5. Overall, an S tier. And if you couldn't tell, I really like the DLC bosses of Dark Souls 3. And what would you know, this DLC has an NPC fight as well. And not just one of them, but you gotta fight 3 of them this time. And we all know how much I love NPC fights in this game. In this fight, you're gonna have to fight 2 clansmen and then Halflight. Now the 2 clansmen, you could usually get priority on hitting them, so I just swung my sword and prayed I'd hit them before they hit me. I also tried tracking them behind the pillars so Halflight's bow wouldn't hit me, as well as his summon magic arrows. Now Halflight is an S tier boss in regards of pissing me off. The only windows I found for Halflight was when he'd use his bow and arrow, then you could run up behind him and actually get a backstab in. Or during when he has his katana sheath, sometimes if you attack faster and he goes into your sword, you could hit him. But most of the time I would just get murked. Every time the second white cloak guy would be summoning, my brain would just go straight mush. And for some reason, the second one would always spam heal moves after I got them down to half health. This made it way harder to kill Halflight, because then Halflight would be full health after I'd finally be able to take down the second guy. I finally decided to start using the dagger, and the dagger attacks way faster than the short sword, so when Halflight uses his unsheath, you could get priority on him and hit him first. So I would hit Halflight in his unsheathed mode until I got both of the white cloak people down, and then once that happened, I just baited out the arrow move and I went for backstabs, and I was finally able to beat this guy. Halflight and his goons killed me 57 times. Game time was 37 hours on the dot. Difficulty, a 5 out of 5. Enjoyment, a negative 5 out of 5. Overall, an F tier. Screw this guy. Now it was finally time to take on Slave Knight Gael. Truly the pinnacle of boss design. His phase 1 was very easy for me, but it's also really fun at the same time. His attacks feel so smooth to dodge, and his attack windows are very clear, so it rewards the player for playing well. Now it's time to get to stage 2. Every time I'd start stage 2, I'd rip a lightning resin and then I'd sprint up and hit him. From then on, it's just an honest duel between 2 warriors at the end of the world. The way I took on stage 2 was to dodge to his left almost every time, because every time I dodged to his right, his cape would always clip me. Now in this clip it didn't, but just just know that it definitely clipped me every time. So I would dodge backwards out of its range, and then I'd be able to take the fight on from there. The one thing I don't like about this guy is when he whips out that crossbow, you gotta dodge away. It's basically a get off me move, and it's so annoying. I did die to it a couple times too. Now, as to be expected, I did take a couple silly deaths in stage 2, but that's to be expected when you're fighting a boss that's challenging. Now, stage 3 Gael is pretty similar to 2, with some more tricks up his sleeve. Whenever I'd see the lightning spawn, I'd usually try to back away from Gael and try to bring him over so I wouldn't be dodging into lightning potentially. Now I want you to focus here because this one move that Gael would use was cooking me the whole time. I dodged it here, but man, the amount of times I died when he'd fly up into the air with the crossbow was ridiculous. At this point, I was getting pretty good at dodging Gael's moveset, and I could see that victory was near. Yeah, victory was not near in the slightest at this point. I kept dying to that move, mainly because the camera would get all janky and I would just like turn my brain off and die to it. Usually I'd get clipped by a bunch of arrows and it was annoying. It's such a shame that I didn't realize my mic wasn't recording because these death reactions were priceless. Like you could just see the utter rage in my face every time I died. This clip right here might be the funniest because I was doing pretty well. I did dodge that one stupid move. I look like a unicorn and then he looks away and then he attacks. I was like, what? He completely deked me out. In this clip, I had the win in sight, but Gael snatched the victory from the claws of defeat. And yet again, here's another clip where I threw. Now this one puzzled me, but I realized the balls that were flying hit me, not Gael, so that sucked too. Now at that point, I was fighting Gael for about like 3 hours, 3.5 hours-ish. So I decided to go make some food, wash up, and then get back onto the grind. This run, it was safe to say I was officially locked in. There was nothing this guy could do to hit me. I was dodging left and right, getting the hits in. He was getting cooked in a blender, and this finally happened.
Yes! Let's fucking go! I finally got him! Let's go! Oh, yes! I sold out so hard and it worked. Let's go!
Oh, that was only my second try on Gael there too, in this run. That's hilarious. Whew. With Slave Knight Gael finally down, my favorite boss in this run so far, he killed me a whopping 65 times. Game time was 41 hours and 3 minutes. Difficulty, 4 out of 5. Enjoyment, a 5 out of 5. S tier. Couldn't be anything else. Now we have done it. We've finally made it to Soul of Cinder after hours and hours of gameplay. Now this guy was a bit of a doozy, and I haven't really fought him much before, so it didn't go well. Fucking delaying pussy, bro. Yeah, I took a lot of insta-deaths to him, mainly because of that delayed sword swing, so I just started dodging backwards and I finally was able to avoid it. As you can see, he ends up changing in the pyromancy phase. We do not fight that, so there's no gameplay of that. Here's the lovely magic phase. Now the magic phase is easy peasy lemon squeezy. You just run up, hit him, dodge his attacks, pretty simple. The best attack to get the damage in is definitely the Goku Super Saiyan Kamehameha beam. Then you just smack him up nice and good, falls down, get more damage, and that's basically it for magic phase. For spirit phase, I would keep my distance and I would bait out his sprinting charge at you because then I'd dodge to the right and walk in, get a hit, and then rinse and repeat. After many deaths, I finally get to stage 2 and it goes just about as expected. That one death led me to spiral into many more deaths in phase 1 as well. Dude, I can't fucking stand this guy. Hits. kills me, bro. It's so horseshit. This fucking boss is not fun. Phase 2. Now, at this point, it was getting pretty late into the night, and I really needed to beat this guy because it was taking so long, and I wanted to start finally editing this video. And let's see if I learned from my first encounter with him. And I fucking died! Dude, oh my god. It's so annoying. Oh fuck. Fuck! Yeah, every time I died in second stage, there'd be like 5 more deaths in stage 1 because of that. Luckily, I finally found my groove in stage 2. So what I would do is I'd get a hit, run away, wait for him to do the forward thrust and actually dodge it this time. If he jumps, you dodge, move to the right, get a hit in. But then this happened. No! Oh my god, I'm alive. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever been grabbed by him, and I thought it was a guaranteed death no matter how much health you had. But luckily, I was able to live, but the rage was pretty sick. I was finally able to get the heal off and reset, and then go back to the normal strategy of dodge away, boom, get a hit in, and be good. Him getting staggered here was pretty lucky. I definitely would have got hit there. Now, Soul of Cinder was going pretty well. I felt like I definitely had this win in the bag. But of course, I need another heart attack. Yeah, I have no idea how I lived that. The only way I could think is because I was healing, so maybe there was overheal because of it, but I definitely should have died there. Luckily though, I didn't end up throwing, and we finally got the dub. Yes! Oh my god! Oh shit! Oh my god! The panic was setting in. The panic was... Oh, fuck yes! Ah, let's go! Finally beat the fucking game! Oh, that took way too long. 43 fucking hours of gameplay. It was official. I finally completed this challenge. Soul of Cinder killed me 58 times. The game time was 43 hours and 10 minutes. Difficulty 5 out of 5. Enjoyment 3 out of 5. Overall, an A tier for Soul Cinder. With it all said and done, I could finally link the flame, completing my level 1 Dark Souls 3 run. If you guys have made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I think I'm a better Dark Souls player because of it as well. Like I said in the beginning, appreciate a like and subscribe. If you have any more challenges, make sure to leave a comment below. Thanks.